Now let's get this party started. Welcome to the ZBHO Dojo. My name is Spicer, your spicy sensei, if you will, and today on the stream, we're gonna be doing some critiques, some anatomy critiques, and then we're gonna be working on our Frank Frazetta piece and putting on a show while we do the whole damn thing. So before we get started, kicking ass, taking names, staying in our lane, let us give thanks and praise to the lords and gods of CG, starting with Lord Frank Frazetta. Thank you, Lord Frank Frazetta. Next, Saint Joseph of Christ. Next, Saint Paul. Look up here. Good morning. Next, Ryan, the King of Slean. And finally, Simon Lee, Spider of the Road. Thank you for your education, your inspiration, and your overall badassness. The dojo salutes you. How is it going, Dojo Warriors? How are you this week? How are you today? How am I doing? Wonderful question. I am doing amazing. Thank you very much. We are getting our ZTLs ready for critique. I think we got one more, I think. Let's see. Yeah, we got one more. All right, so we're gonna have Chris, then Vanish, and then Vimara. And then we're gonna get into our Frazetta sculpt. Ooh, D-Zinc in the house. What's going on? Emmanuel Obiety, thank you very much. Robert Clapp. It's time for the spice. Oh, you know it. Emmanuel, thank you very much for being here. A 10 of Slug. What's going on? 4444 of Carbon is here. Ready to kick some ass. Ready to take some names. Alrighty, so we are gonna get into it. Let's get into it. All right, so this is a He-Man head that Chris wants to use in whatchamacallit, in lieu of what's already there on his toy. He's basically making a new head for his toy. So he wants me to go over some anatomy so we can take a look at it. So let's get the hair out of the way. Alrighty, so we want him looking manly. This is going up a little bit too high. You want to bring that right about there. Straight across from the eye is the bottom of the zygomatic arch. You've got that. Have all that feeding into there. He looks more villainous than anything. I would probably give him a little bit more orbit here. Just kind of open it up a little bit, and then add some masseter here. You have the nasolabial fold, but it's making a curve this way. It should come forward and just kind of rest. If you're trying to do a snarl or a look of intensity, that's different, right? But yeah, you can bring his nose in, all that good stuff. Deepen the lips here. And then also around the nostrils. And node of the mouth right here. You can get the depressor muscles right here. The lip raisers right here. Possibly, because when I think of He-Man, I think of like Barbarian and Supermodel, like put together. You know, row 1E1011, g'day. Please change the music. It's the only music we got, brother. This is the only music we got. The only music we got that we can play. Okay? So you're just gonna have to deal with it. You're just gonna have to suffer through getting free anatomy lessons with this music. Okay? You're just gonna have to suffer through it. That's the way it goes. Nothing's for free. Nothing is for free. Alrighty, so I would say Eric Zahn, what's going on? Maybe a little bit more right here, so it's not so it's not shooting back so quickly. D-Zinc, Spicer, just sing to us instead. Ha ha ha, hee hee hee, ho ho ho. Is that better? Boom, it's Nana. What's going on? Alrighty, so a little bit more of the nose here. Right there. Boom, 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 boom. So something like that. You can kind of fix this nostril a bit more so it's not so angular. It should be quite whatchamacallit? Fleshy whenever we're looking at it. Alrighty, alar cartilage here. Right there. Bring this back up into the nose. Bring that back up into the nose. Who is this? Supposed to be He-Man. Yeah, He-Man here. And He-Man, I don't know. It just depends on what kind of look you're going for. If you're going for a more serious look or not. But I think the eyes may be a little bit too oblique. So maybe something a little bit more straight across. And open it a little bit more. Somewhere around there. And let's get the bump out of here. And get it a little bit further back, right? Because this is where the temporalis feeds into. So we want this to be the widest part, not the front here. Alrighty, so something like that. And then kind of after this is kind of like where you want to take it, right? If you want to take it, seems like his eyes may be a little bit too close together. And it's gonna be MV. Kind of move these out. Move these out. Maybe not so far. Somewhere around there. Somewhere around there. Okay, but yeah, a little bit more. I mean, if it's, you know, like I said, He-Man This reminded me of models and barbarians. So maybe a few more hints at that. This is too sharp of a line here. Probably want to spread that line out a bit more. So something right here, and then you can fill it in with malar fat so it doesn't look too gaunt and old. Get that there. And then make sure to attach this masseter directly off the bottom of the zygomatic, and then you can kind of fill this in so he doesn't look like he's diseased or has like lipodystrophy or something. So something like this. And then kind of smooth a lot of this stuff out because it's making him look old and angry. So be careful with that. And then if you're going to use these separate eyelids, you know how much I hate these. Then we definitely want to put in that lacrimal punctum if we're going to have this much control over each eyelid. Then we should definitely see the lacrimal punctum on each one. Right, so something like that. Because it's looking pretty pretty evil the way that you have it right now. So I would try to add in a little bit more. I mean, if that's a route you want to go with a mean looking He-Man, you can definitely go that way, but maybe bring in a few more aesthetically pleasing things in here. You can still keep the gruff look and all of that stuff in here if you want to, but you still need to hit it with that golden ratio type feeling to the face. Something like that. I mean, it kind of looks like the was it the Troll King and what is it? Hellboy Golden Army. Yeah. Are you doing critiques at the moment? Yeah, we got 3 lined up. You can definitely put them in the Discord and get them set up for next week, because we do have next week. I think we have 1 slot left, so definitely put it up in there. It's just Sony. Hi, I'm new to ZBrush, and this is awesome that I found this channel. Oh yeah, this is the official Pixologic ZBrush Live. Welcome, welcome, welcome to you and everybody else. Let's see, whose is this? This is Chris, Mr. Mandibles. What's going on? Don't forget to register for the ZBrush Sculpt Off. Anybody can enter. What's up, Slump XD? What's going on? Zinchwat Sculptastic, what's going on? Thanks for being here. Love water. But yeah, something along the lines of this. I think the dark lines on that on those eyelids are really giving him a sinister type feeling. But here, just complete the orbit. You can add the fat in there if you want, but definitely honor the orbit as you go along. But yeah, hell yeah, brother. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. All that good stuff. So let's take a look. Right, so this is kind of going in the orc direction. And this is a little bit more rough barbarian model looking dude. So yeah. Let's see. Yep, so it just depends. Depends on what you're going for. Depends on what you're going for. Alrighty. Alright, so the next one. Let's see. The next one is Vanish with his anatomy study. So let's take a look. Okay, the head is way too big, and the neck is way too short. All right, so what I would do is bring all this in, so it's a little bit more manageable. Your jawline's going backwards when it should go forwards. Okay, and then your ear, the earlobe is generally going to lead the head, either subtly or drastically. Here, possibly bringing the head in a bit on the back third. And your traps are beginning way too high, right? So, and then your back is a little bit too hunched, right? So you can kind of bring that in a little bit more natural of a posture. Okay, so I'm not sure how old you want this guy to be, but he looks about in his 50s or 60s. Reason being is because of all this down here. So if you want it to look more youthful, then we need to straighten up this jawline, make sure there's no waviness to it. Okay, is this Putin? Oh no, that's a good question. Right, so, and also the wider you make the face, the older it's gonna look, so it's up to you. Okay, the next thing is kind of bringing in these traps a little bit, and your sternocleido is doing this motion. So, well, that's probably because of all the adjustments I made. So we want them to go straight down here. And this is really going to be seen whenever, you know, it's flexed or under stress or something like that. So for this particular case, we just want to hint that it's there. Okay. Next, your traps we've got this very flat angle here, and we need to kind of bring this forward. Let's see. So we get this. Artist verse, thank you very much. This is Putin's, yes. Alright, and we need to bring this forward and attach. I would say that even this is still a little bit too much, and yeah, there's just something weird here. Probably kind of fix this a little bit by evening everything out. Generally not going to have that deep of a depression unless they're very old, behind the neck, and it just feels like everything's kind of shrugged up a bit, so it relax things a bit more. But yeah, and something like that, and then the corners of your eyes are kind of like this when it's going down and then just coming back around, right? So you just have too many angles right here. Okay, so we just need to bring it down here and then bring it forward. Okay, and maybe a little bit more infraorbital furrow.
Just slightly hint at the orbit. Smooth it out, and then make sure your temporal arch isn't too heavy-handed all the way through. You are going to be digging over the lateral brow a little bit so that you can get that lift off, right? Something like that. But yeah, this may be coming forward a little bit too much, so if anything, you might want to just flatten it a little bit. And then having a angle of the jaw here, however subtle, will help. Okay. Let's see, pectoralis. Let's see. Bring that a little bit. There's a little bit more of an arch. And this is kind of all swooping in here. So what I would like to see is this coming down off of the scapula right here, going into the serratus right there, and then having your lats come back, having your obliques here, but you can see they're all on the back end, right? Everything's kind of following the same form and rhythm when they should be a little bit more unique around here. Okay, so generally what I do is I get the rib cage and I bring it back, and this is going to be the 8th rib, and then I'm going to bring this forward. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the trim dynamic and get this and kind of get this little flat part of the oblique here, and just simplifying this a little bit so that then we can start adding all the other detail into it. Okay, but we kind of want to block this out first. We can dig in so we can get that crest of the hip, bring it back up, and then have it go back, right? So so don't neglect the front part of your oblique here, because it doesn't just come around whenever you want it to. There's a clear plane change here. And maybe make it a little bit shorter. It's a little bit shorter. Right here, and possibly a little bit more forward. Just get that out of there. And then you can bring your abs over. These are, I mean, with the obliques here, you should be able to mask some of it, kind of bring all this a little bit more together. But they're very symmetrical. Put the false abs, true abs right there. The keg. Alrighty, there we go. So something along those lines. And kind of looks like he's falling chest first, so it would change the posture a little bit, so it's easier to read whenever you're sculpting. Let's see. and just making sure it's flowing around. And then you're going to have your upper lumbars and then your spina erectus right here, your lats attaching, and then your obliques coming from 10, 11, 12. And you can tell where that is because that's generally where the lower or the upper lumbar are going to end, and you're just going to continue a line through there. Okay. What's up, Skull Hat? Ashraf, thanks for being here. Ibrahim, what's false and true abs? False abs are the ones that insert around at the fifth rib and they come down to about your sixth rib. These are your false abs. And then you have your true abs. Reason being is that these abs are genetic. They're not on everybody. Like everybody's got the 4-pack and the keg, right? Everybody's got that, but these up here are genetically. You can't like crunch your way into getting those false abs. They're just either you have them or you don't. JA21, what's going on? Christ Jesus. Thanks for being here. But yeah, that's some quick pointers I would give on this piece. So we can kind of take a look. Right. So very, very large head, no neck. And so now we kind of, I would still say this head's a little bit too big. But we kind of tamed it down a little bit. Okay, and then we changed his posture so it doesn't look like he's falling forward. Okay. Which abs are genetic? Sorry, I stepped away and didn't see. The false abs, the ones that are directly underneath your pectoralis, not the 2-pack and the keg. That's on everybody. But the ones right underneath the pecs are the ones that are genetically you have them or you don't. Mm-hmm. So that's the reason they're called false abs. All right, Vamara, looking at pirates. Thanks. And now one ZBrush question: the size changes based off of the pen pressure is not working. Is there a setting for it? Yeah, just make sure it's working. And then tablet, use tablet, size sensitivity, all these sensitivities here should help you. If not, then you need to make sure that your brush is compatible or your tablet is compatible with your computer and has all the correct drivers. Okay. Alrighty, Mike Lazy Art, hi, your stream inspires. Thank you very much. Alrighty, so let's take a look at this. Okay, first we're gonna have the bend in the neck, right? We're looking for a little bit more rugged of a nose. That's fine. Maybe too far back though. And then this is kind of going up into here when it should be going into the corner of your eye. So again, we just need to separate the nose from the rest of the face first, right? Because even this is still coming up too much, right? So we need to send that back. And bring that forward. Get this nice and fleshy. This part should be nice and hard surface. the alar cartilage, and a little bit wider on the front plane of this nasal bone, nasal aperture. And it looks like he's sneering right now, so generally whenever I kind of block out a character, I give them a neutral expression and then start adding the expression as I go along. The chin is pretty unsubstantial here. There's a big dip here. So I give him a little bit more of a chin, a little less mouth. And then that way you can kind of have a little bit more room here. And you can have a little bit more substantial of a chin in there. And now you can fit in your depressor muscles and all this good stuff. Okay. Note of the mouth. So I would just, go a little bit more rugged on these type of things. Right there. A little bit more of the orbit. Right here. Alrighty. So, yeah, a little bit more room for the chin is definitely going to help. And just depends on, what type of pirate are you going for? There's many facial features you can draw from, and never be afraid to just throw some eyebrows on here, because he's going to look weird until you do. And it's always going to break at the temporal arch. Okay, so something like that. We're going to extract. I'm going to go 0.005. Extract, accept, and polish by features, so we can get rid of those lines or those waves. Keep groups. Let's go with 1 ZBrush, and now we got something a little bit more manageable. And now he doesn't look so weird. Alrighty, so next thing would be the neck. You just have things, see how angular this is right here? It's pretty much a straight shot back. So I would just add a bit more mass here, because right behind your ear is your mastoid process. And so we want to make sure that bone is in there. And here, kind of spreading out this highlight a bit more. Right? So, not being so drastic with the angle. And make sure these tendons are very small as they attach to the head of the sternum. And if you're still looking for the Adam's apple and all that stuff, that's fine. But at least we fix the contrast that we had going, that was kind of throwing everything off. So here, halfway down, you want to kind of come forward. Right around there, and I would say the clavicle is a little bit too dramatic as well. somewhere around there. We can kind of send this esophagus back a bit more. Right there. And kind of even this out right here. And what's kind of throwing this off is how wide the trap is so quickly. We want to make sure there's always a neck, right? We want to make sure there's a neck first. And then the traps can come out from there. But what we're looking for first is a very cylindrical feeling. So I'm going to kind of hint at that all the way around. Okay, so we got nice and cylindrical. Want to make sure it's not too wide. You see this convex or concave. Want to straighten that out a bit more. Okay, and then we can really give him a chin here. Just make sure we have all the planes. So it's not just a point, right? That's boom, boom, boom. Alrighty. So we're going to even this out a little bit more. And now we're going to shape it. And it just depends, you know, what kind of guy is he going to be? Is he going to be the muscular guy on the crew? Is he going to be the muscle? Is he going to be I mean, there's just so many personalities that can be represented just in this neck, you know. Like, but anyway, so here we can smooth all this out now. And so now we got something a little bit more cylindrical, and even without any detail or shape here, this is much more believable than what you had going on. Okay, so now that I have this in a cylindrical manner, now I can kind of come in here and start massaging these things back, smoothing them out. So and we always want to keep that cylindrical nature, right? You don't have to be you know, extreme with this concept, but definitely use it so that you don't lose the shape of your neck, right? Because it's going to get pretty complicated, especially when you're first starting to sculpt these things. And we're going to put the clavicle over here, and then the head of the sternum here. Because there's a lot of intricacies that are going on with just the neck. I mean, with the entire body, there's obviously that going on. But make sure you pay attention to your highlights, right? Make sure they're not too sharp. That's usually what I'm looking at whenever I'm sculpting. Making sure that the highlights and the shadows aren't too sharp on the human body, because very rarely is that going to happen. But yeah, these type of things I would look at to see what's going on, see where you can improve, and let's just take a look. Right. So it feels like everything's being shoved up into the neck. And you can see my traps come out this way, right? Yours start all the way up here around the chin. Mine start, you know, just above the clavicle heads here. And then you have this deep pocket, which isn't wrong, but with all the other things that are going on with this neck, like you have this curve here, it's going deep into here. You got this coming all the way up from here. Instead of having a neck first and then gently massaging the esophagus and the sternocleidomastoid and everything else into place, right? Also making sure that the nose is a little bit more its own thing before moving on. Okay. boom, it's na. That's cool to know. Things to know. Hi, Spicer Sensei. Greetings, and how are you? What's up, Sergio? Sumerian is in the house. Ibrahim, do you always work on such high division? Because I'm always told to do on second or third max division. I mean, there's no rule on that. This is just Dynamesh, just sculpting. I mean, when it comes to just sculpting, you're just sculpting. There's really no. I mean, I've seen people work at very high subdivision levels, very high Dynamesh, very low, and then work their way up. Really, no one cares as long as at the end it's what the client wanted. Yeah, there's really no set rules. I mean, there's foundational things that you should learn and do, but there's not like a super set rule, especially when you're just having fun sculpting. You don't want to, oh, I can't go a fourth subdivision level. I mean, you want to make sure that all your forms and all of your rhythms are set before you go up into an extremely high subdivision level and start putting a bunch of details, because if you put a bunch of details on a bunch of crappy forms and rhythm, it just looks like detailed crap, you know? So you want to make sure your forms are there first, and then you want to start working your way up into details. Whenever you get started, maybe later on, whenever you figure out, hey, I'm super, super special and I have to sculpt a different way, and I sculpt details first and then I work back. But that's not going to be 99.9% of the people. 99.9% of the people are going to build their way up to that detail level. So working in low subdivision levels in the beginning is very helpful. Very helpful. Crafting Canvas. What's going on, sister? Town. What's going on? Vimara. Thanks so much, Sensei. My pleasure. Jimmy is missing. Where'd he go? Is that Cillian Murphy? No, it's not Cillian Murphy. Cillian Murphy would have deep sunken in eyes. But yeah, good job, everybody. I just do basic sculpting so I can always stay in my lane. Yay! Alrighty, so what are we doing? Just to make sure I'm not going to lose anything. I don't think I am. Okay. So let's go to our Frazetta piece. Oh, I'm not sure who it is. It's just a pirate. But yeah, for those, this is your first time, we're redoing a Frank Frazetta piece. Yeah, just working our way. Working our way into glory. So if you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to ask. Always here to help. As long as you don't piss me off. All right. So, just reviewing where we were. I think it's time to put these two together. Slump XZ, no promises. Understood, brother. Understood. Understood. So there we go. Do you have any anatomy facts tips for someone fairly new? There's a bunch of stuff. Learn, I mean, in terms of like where you should go if you're fairly new and you want to learn anatomy, is to start, observing the skeleton, and then how the muscles, just learn the shoulder and how it originates and attaches, meaning where does the muscle begin and where does it go into, and what are some things that you can count on 99% of the time when you're blocking a character out. So just familiarizing yourself as much as you can and not being too impatient about it. It's going to take time. If it doesn't, then either you're a genius or you learned it wrong. So it's up to you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a bunch of anatomy enthusiasts in the chat, and yeah, and also have tutorials on it, so yeah. Check them out. But it's more of like you already kind of, you know how to use a program, you know how to sculpt, you're just trying to refine your knowledge. Because there gets a point where you're just kind of getting used to the program and understanding what it does, understanding form at the most basic level. And then you start noticing that, you know, other people understand it a little bit more deeply than you. And you want to understand the human form a little bit more so that you can level yourself up. That's kind of like where my course fits in. So if you're just starting out, you know, I can definitely help you with that. But there's Michael Pavlovich's channel. He streams here as well. And if you just want to know workflows and all that stuff, then you really can't find that many better than Pavlovich, especially since he's does most of his stuff for free on YouTube, or is on ArtStation for free or something like that. So yeah, definitely check him out. Good guy. Shushan, don't quit. This piece is coming along nice. Thank you very much. Is Henry barking? Don't be barking, Henry. You gotta be quiet. Gotta curl them toes, Getting stabbed in the heart, gotta curl them toes. So if you haven't sculpted feet before, you really should. It's super fun. Super duper, super duper, super duper fun. Was it that anatomy? Was it Anatomy for Sculptors? I think is a book. They have a really great breakdown of feet. If you follow that one, then you really can't go wrong. Sculpting them feets. Alrighty. Alrighty, Rectus Femoris, you guys. Alrighty. Using extract. Let's go a little bit. Let's go a little bit thicker, puppy. Wee, that's so good right there, puppy. And then we're going to keep groups. Badoosh. We're going to use zero mesher. We're going to go pretty elaborate on 2K. Alrighty, so let's see, is there any trim on that? I don't think there is. Okay. Link of what? What are you gonna post a link about? Of this stream? Absolutely. I want to know if this model is good as skeleton reference to learn anatomy. Sure.
Go ahead and post it up, brother.
Yeah, it should work. That one should work. At least to get you started. Excuse me. Alright, and he's got some cloth going into his butt. So... Let's move this back. Alrighty. So now we should have a split in his undies. Yeah, everybody excited for the summit? Everybody excited for the summit? Ooh, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Make sure y'all are there. Make sure you don't miss a single second. So let's clean that up. Alrighty, and one, 202. Let's go here. Do our usual polish features. Let's bring this together a little bit more.
Can't wait for the summit. I'm not ready though. You gotta be practicing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, summit's gonna be here in just a few months. It's gonna be here in just a few months. He's clenching them butt cheeks. Oh, isn't he? Swallowing everything. All right. Well, we got 21st Century Michelangelo live over here. Who is that? Was that Michelangelo over there? Can't see too good with these glasses. I need a new prescription. Is that Michelangelo over there? Let's see. Let's go with this. Oh! Alrighty. Eliodani points. I don't know what that's for, but you get some points. Brazil. Alrighty, people. I'm gonna call it a little early tonight. What's going on, Spirit Chuck? But yeah, I'm starving. I didn't get to eat today. I'm kind of low energy, and I really am feeling it. You know how it is. You know how it is. But we will be back next week. Make sure to pay attention to the ZBrush live feeds, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Make sure to like and subscribe to the videos and the channel, and we will see you next time. Peace.